The Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters are finally out, and I could almost kiss Konami if I wasn't perpetually annoyed at them for their absolute BS. Like seriously, they own some of the most beloved video game franchises of all time, and they drip feed us crumbs. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster Gate Rune and Dunan Unification Wars contains HD remasters of both Suikoden and Suikoden 2. These are both originally PlayStation 1 games, with Suiko 1 hitting the PS before Final Fantasy VII. In other words, that was a very long time ago. Suikoden 2 is definitely the star of the show here, as it is bigger, better, and more realized than Suiko 1. Although Suiko 1 is still a pretty decent, if bare bones, RPG. You can actually 100% it in about 20 hours, so it's actually really high on my recommended RPGs list. Please give me more 20-hour RPGs. If you are going to be playing Suikoden 2 though, I would always recommend playing Suikoden 1 first, as your game save carries over some stuff into Suikoden 2. Being console games from the mid to late 90s, this is actually a pretty old instance of that kind of technology. Take that, Mass Effect, you big fucking queef pigeon. Suikoden 1 really feels like a prologue to Suikoden 2. There are a lot of similar themes between both games, like political intrigue, childhood's end, losing friends, and making difficult decisions. The original games had fairly rough localizations, as was not uncommon for the time, but the remaster cleans things up considerably. Suikoden 2 was always lauded for its story, and now with its updated localization, this fact really shines through. No spoilers, but Luca Blight is one of the most heinous villains in any game ever, and this updated localization really highlights this. Both games feature a lot of the RPG tropes of the day: turn-based combat, maze-like dungeons, random battles, leveling up, upgrading armor at armor shops and towns, conversing with NPCs, and lots of other things that you would expect from an RPG of the day. But the things that Suiko 1 and 2 added to the RPG formula are pretty exciting. First and foremost, the 108 Stars of Destiny. The Suikoden games are known for their very, very large rosters of characters. Collecting new party members is like drugs. If you thought that Loot Lust was wild, wait till you get your hands on Unit Lust. As you adventure, you will find new units in towns and dungeons. Some will join for story reasons, some you will need to backtrack to find, etc. Figuring out how to collect each unit is great fun. And the more units you collect, the more elaborate your castle gets. That's right, you get your own castle. Simply collecting units will slowly increase the size and scope of your castle, but some units will also add unique elements to the castle itself. One guy will build you an elevator to traverse the castle faster, one character will give you a weapon and item storage, various characters will allow you to play mini-games, and much, much more. Now, not every single character will be able to join you in battle. Suikoden has 108 recruitable characters, and Suikoden 2 has, I think, 115. But each game's roster has loads of characters who join you but won't actually join you in battle. Each game has something like 60-ish characters who can be added to your battle parties, and this is fine. That's still a lot of playable units. And each game gives you 6 party member slots, so you're gonna have the propensity to play unique parties just about every time you play the game. That's a hell of a lot of replay value. My one complaint about the system is that each of the 2 games has 1 or 2 characters that are going to be mandatory party members for a lot of the game. In Suiko 1, you're going to have Gremio in your party a lot. In Suikoden 2, you're gonna have Nanami in your party a lot. I like both of these characters, but let me slot in Kasumi when I want to, you fucking nerds. Speaking of characters, I normally will tell you all about all of the different party members you can recruit, but I don't have the willpower to talk about 200 different character units in one video. That is a very daunting prospect. I'm sure somebody else has done it anyway. Instead, let me just tell you who my final teams were in both of these games on this replay. In Suiko 1, my end party comprised of Valeria, a heavy hitter. Her Falcon rune hits for 3 times damage with no downside. Victor, mandatory for the end game, but I would have brought him anyway. He's about as powerful as Valeria, even without a Falcon rune. Flick, also mandatory Satori, but also one of the best units in the game. He hits hard physically, can use a shield for added defense, and has some decent spell slots. Best Boy Tier, our main character, but another unit I would use anyway as the Soul Eater rune is immense. Cleo, despite being one of your first units, Cleo has some excellent magic slots, giving her loads of magic to use. She also has decent defense, surprisingly. And lastly, Camille, a unit very similar to Cleo, has loads of spell slots. In Suikoden 2, my end party was Flick, just as powerful and useful as in the first game, a good fighter, good defense, good magic, great all-rounder. Victor is even more powerful in Suikoden 2, given you can put multiple runes on all units. He's still just a front row damage dealer, but damn, he's good at doing that. George, another great frontline warrior, hits very hard. Rio, I always preferred Tier in Suikoden 1, but Rio is still pretty good, even if he's basically just a healer. Tengar, a very powerful magic user with some great spell slots. And Clive, back row damage powerhouse and can use some pretty okay magic. Along with the updated localization, both games have updated graphics. Well, mostly updated graphics. What is updated? Backgrounds, the map, Suikoden 1 portraits, spell effects, and the font. Both games are now also in 16:9 as opposed to 4:3. Things not updated: character sprites, and most cutscenes. For the most part, everything meshes pretty well. The old school sprites on the new backgrounds look pretty good, but I would have loved the ability to swap back and forth between the new backgrounds and the old backgrounds. The old CGI cutscenes are going to look like shit unless remade, but no one is going to remake all of those old cutscenes, save for the intro cutscene, which looks fantastic. Also, I have to say that the updated Suikoden 1 character portraits are pretty good. I like the original game's character art, but that art was always super low resolution, even on the PS1, so it's easy to see why they'd need to completely redo it. And for the most part, these new portraits look fantastic, except for the ones that don't. Poor Tai-Ho. So yeah, all in all, these remasters are both very, very good, and I would recommend them to new and old RPG fans alike. There's enough new stuff to impress old school fans, and both games are accessible enough for new school RPG fans. Suikoden 2 especially is a title that shouldn't be overlooked by those who haven't played it. This title is one of the absolute best RPGs from the PS1 days and should be experienced by everyone. Will Konami do remasters for the other games? I personally would love that. I only ever played Suikoden 5 to completion, Suikoden 3 passed me by, and I did not like the art direction in Suikoden 4, so I didn't play it. Suikoden Tactics seemed fine by the one battle that I played way back in 2007 or whenever. Suikoden Tier Christ was not great, and I haven't attempted to play the Japanese-only PSP game, which apparently has a decent fan patch. I'll be honest though, out of all of those games, they'd probably only bother remastering 3 to 5 and just ignore the rest. But hey, we're entering a golden renaissance for the Suikoden series. They're doing an anime, cool, and they're doing a gacha, much less cool. Once upon a time, I said that the Suikoden series would be perfect for a gacha game since there are literally hundreds of party members scattered throughout all the games, but man, it is 2025, please stop making gachas. So yeah, Suikoden in 2025, what a novel concept. Next thing you'll tell me is that they're remaking the Lunar games. I've been Richard for RPG Fortress. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for sticking with us despite the erratic upload schedule. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to hug a cat. Goodbye. Oh yeah, and there's going to be an announcement next week.